We've all seen them, right? Those super impressive AI agent demos. But how do you actually get from that cool prototype to a real, reliable product that you can trust? That gap is huge, and it's the hardest part of AI development. Today, we're going to dive into the new discipline that's helping us cross it, agent ops. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. Getting an agent to be smart, that's actually kind of the easy part. But trusting it, that's a whole different ballgame. That's where the real work, the real engineering kicks in. So, how do we actually build that trust? Well, to understand the challenge, you have to understand the scale. Check this out. A whopping 80% of the effort to get an agent ready for production has nothing to do with its core intelligence. Nope, it's all the other stuff. The infrastructure, the security, the endless testing that makes it safe enough for the real world. So what happens if you try to cut corners on that 80%? Well, it's not pretty. And we're not talking about little bugs here. We're talking about huge business-breaking failures. Imagine your agent just giving away free products, or leaking sensitive customer data, or my personal nightmare, running up a crazy expensive bill over a single weekend. This is what happens when you rush things to production. Okay, so you might be thinking, can't we just use our normal DevOps tools for this? And the answer is not really. See, agents are a whole different animal. Your typical software follows a script, right? It's predictable. But agents, they're autonomous. They have memory, they learn, and honestly, they can be super unpredictable. You just can't manage them the old way. You need a whole new playbook. That trust we were talking about, it has to be earned. And it has to be earned long before your agent ever talks to a real customer. We call this the pre-production gauntlet. It's basically a series of tough-as-nails tests to prove the agent is ready for the real world. And the core idea behind this gauntlet is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's called evaluation-gated deployment. Just think of it like a bouncer at a club. No agent gets into production, I mean zero, without passing a whole bunch of automated quality and safety checks first. How does that work in practice? Through an automated pipeline that's like a funnel for quality. Every single code change kicks off some quick initial tests. If that looks good, it moves on to a staging area, a copy of the real thing, for some heavy-duty testing. Only after it passes all of those stages does a human finally give it the thumbs up. You build confidence with every single step. But look, even with all that, pushing to production is always a little scary. That's why you need safe ways to roll it out. You could release it to just say 1% of your users. That's a canary release. Or you could have 2 identical production environments and just flip a switch to move traffic over. The point is, no matter what you do, you always need an undo button, a way to immediately go back to the old version if things go sideways. All right, so your agent made it through the gauntlet. It's live. Congratulations. But the job is definitely not done, not even close. Managing these things out in the wild is a constant, ongoing process. And the key to doing it right is this continuous loop with 3 simple steps: observe, act, and evolve. You watch what it's doing, you react when you need to, and you use what you learn to make it better. Let's dig into each of those. First up, observe. This is all about giving your agent senses. You've got logs that tell you what it did, traces that show you why it did it, and metrics to track its performance. If you don't have all 3, you're basically flying blind in a hurricane. Then you act. Think of this as the system's reflexes. You see something in your observations, and you react. Maybe you need to add more servers to handle a traffic spike. Or maybe you need to hit a circuit breaker to shut down a tool that's going haywire. This is all about keeping things stable right here, right now. And last but not least, evolve. This is the big picture, strategic part. Act was about quick fixes. Evolve is about making the agent fundamentally better for the long haul. You see a problem happening over and over in production, you turn that into a new automated test. You build a permanent fix, and you push it out to that same pipeline we talked about. This is the virtuous cycle that makes your agent smarter and smarter over time. Okay, so you've got one agent running smoothly. That's awesome. But what happens when you have a whole bunch of them? Maybe dozens of specialized agents, all built by different teams. You can't just have them all doing their own thing. You need them to work together to become a real ecosystem. And getting them to work together requires a common language, or really 2 common protocols. First, you've got something called MCP. This is for simple one-off tasks. It's like saying, hey, calculator tool, do this one specific thing. Then you have A2A, the agent-to-agent protocol. This is for the big stuff, for delegating complex goals. It's more like saying to a smart colleague, hey, can you go achieve this big, complex goal for me? You know what? Let's make this really simple with an analogy. Picture an auto repair shop, but it's run completely by different AI agents. Here's how it would work. A customer tells the shop manager agent about a problem, that's an A2A conversation. The manager then turns around and delegates that task to a specialist mechanic agent. Again, A2A. Now the mechanic needs to get its hands dirty. It uses MCP to talk to its tools, the scanner, the database, the lift, simple, direct commands. But wait, it needs a parts. So it talks to an external parts supplier agent. And what does it use? You guessed it, A2A. See how that works? A2A is for talking about goals, MCP is for using tools. Phew, okay. We've covered a ton here, right? We went from testing before production to managing agents in the wild all the way to getting them to work together. So now, let's zoom out and put all these pieces together. Let's look at the entire agent ops lifecycle. This right here is the whole journey. It all begins in what we call the inner loop, where a developer is just building and testing things locally. From there, it goes into that pre-production pipeline with all those tough quality gates. Once it makes it to production, it's managed by that observe, act, evolve loop. And over time, it becomes part of a bigger ecosystem, talking to other agents. Every single thing we've discussed has its place in this flow. But I want to be really clear about something. The biggest win from all this, it isn't just about playing defense and preventing disasters. The real magic of agent ops is speed. It's about velocity. Because when you have this kind of solid, automated framework in place, you can make your agent better and ship those improvements in hours or days, not weeks or months. And that brings us right back to where we started. It's great that your agent is clever. It's awesome that it's smart. But the single most important question you have to answer is much simpler. Is it trustworthy? Agent ops is the system, the discipline that gives you the tools and the confidence to finally say yes.